Illinois has the perfect record.
Obviously not the Illinois goal right now, but it's all going to come down to how they respond. I'm really curious to see how Illinois comes out in this game tonight.
So Illinois winning the opening tip, wearing the blue uniforms here at home. Valparaiso in the gold. Driving to the basket and having it blocked is Ty Rogers. Good defensive stand by Valpo on the first possession. And now a pull-up three by Stafford is in and out. Offensive rebound, Jerome Palm. And he's fouled from behind by Damask. So good defense from Valpo. Got a good look and an offensive rebound.
That's a perfect start right there. Jerome Palm getting involved on both ends of the floor, and you're going to see that all night. Jerome Palm obviously big at 6'10". He gets the defensive stop on the other end of the floor and then draws the contact there. You're going to see that a lot from him. As long as he can get minutes, as long as he can keep that stamina up, he could be very critical for Valparaiso here and at least ruffling some feathers on the inside for the Illini.
Senior from the Netherlands, Jerome Palm. Knocks down the first free throw. He's 6 of 9 at the line on the year already. And Terrence Shannon coming out of the game a little hobbled, and that's not a good sign if you're an Illini fan because you're already without Coleman Hawkins today. Justin Harmon checking in quickly, 23 seconds into the game. 1 for 2 at the line, and the rebound cleared by Guerrier.
Well, there's plenty that Terrence Shannon Jr. brings to this Illini team that Justin Harmon will provide a difference in, but key amongst that being transition play.
Damask has his three, roll around and out. 1-0 lead for Valpo to start the game. Stafford picked up by Damask. Now this is Schwieger swinging it to Vero. To the basket off the glass, wild shot, flying in for the rebound. There's a shot block for Dane Danger in the starting lineup in place of Coleman Hawkins today. Yeah, having Danger as well as Quincy Guerrier is going to stuff the paint for sure, and that's why it made it such a difficult shot from not that far away from the basket. Is that going to be approached for the full game? I'll be curious, but Quincy Guerrier and Dane Danger, not going to be easy to work around. Here's Ty Rogers, backing down the smaller man, spinning to the rim, and he got fouled, I think, by Palm. And we'll have free throws here for the Fighting Illini. I think the Beacons are going to learn very quickly. You don't want to go one-on-one with too many of these guys. Certainly not Ty Rogers on both ends of the floor. Very physical, and he's very persistent. And you saw there in particular, he's not afraid of taking the challenge. So you'll want the spacing there. Terrence Shannon Jr. there on the sideline. I'm sure they're taking precautions here, especially after how intense the game here 3 days ago was. But something to keep an eye on for sure. It looks like they're getting an ice pack maybe ready for him. I can't tell exactly. As you see, he's just standing there, flexing his right leg now as the first free throw is good for Ty Rogers. Rogers, who had 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting against Marquette on Tuesday, 7.3 points per game thus far. In his first 2 free throw makes of the year, he's 2 for 4 on the young season, and Illinois has the 2-1 lead. Beacons quickly up the floor here. This is the mark of a Roger Powell coached Beacon side. Jackson Edwards, bounce pass, good look, and Danger along with Rogers contesting that shot from Schwieger. And we'll have more free throws so far here in the first 90 seconds of this game. Yeah, Jackson Edwards, he's a great rebounder, great scorer, but he doesn't get enough credit for his playmaking ability in terms of assists, and that was a great pass there for Schwieger, who's going to be another threatening presence right under the basket. If that connection gets going, yet another avenue of attack for the visitors. A true freshman from Overland Park, Kansas, had a 12-point game in the Valparaiso loss against IUPUI, which they lost 66-56, but they are coming off a 64-59 win over Green Bay. They trailed that game by 5 at the break, and then outscored the Phoenix 38-28 in the second stanza. 1-point Valpo lead. Damask into the corner. Bad pass is knocked away by Palm. And here come the Beacons. The floater by Stafford is good. First field goal for either side. Well, there's the athleticism of Jerome Palm making its impact on the game already. Similar to Coleman Hawkins, they're the same height, and they have that level of athleticism that you might not expect of a guy of that size normally, but he gets the reach in there. He's very quick, and Valparaiso gets the transition points. Quiet crowd here in the early going. 5-2 Valparaiso. Rogers down the baseline, kicking it into the corner. The 3 ball spins around and out for Quincy Guerrier, and Valparaiso doing a good job on the glass. Diavero gives to Schwieger. Stafford coming around on the wing. D'Avero back with it. Leads to an open three for Edwards. Front iron, and the rebound to Mask.
Illini staying disciplined on the inside on that particular possession. And once you slow down this Valparaiso team, that's what works for Illinois, being able to quickly transition. And a technical foul has just been assessed. I believe it must have been danger hanging on the rim. I definitely saw it teed up there by an official. I'm not entirely sure what it's for. I'm going to guess it's for hanging on the rim.
Yeah, Danger got really good early position on Palm, and then, yeah, that little pull-up
I think it's the extra half second there. Illini faithful will, of course, remember a similar technical foul being assessed with higher stakes against R.J. Melendez a couple of years ago. And for how gritty this Valparaiso team likes to be in the paint on the inside, you do want that presence in response if you're Illinois.
Technical free throw good for Isaiah Stafford. He gets 3 points in the early going. So Shannon's back in, and in for the first time today, Dre Gibbs Lawhorn. Another look at what Danger did. Let's see, take your best. Yeah, he did a little extra pull-up.
Maybe the kick towards Jerome Palm was interpreted as a little more intentional, deliberate, but there's a certain amount where you have to protect the player that's on the rim just to allow them to swing back and be able to land safely. Whether that was excessive, I'm not entirely sure.
D'Avero has it for the Beacons. Steps to his left, 15 feet. Off the side of the iron. Damask had it, lost it. Schwieger floats it back up and in. So for Valparaiso, that is a third offensive rebound, and Schwieger has 4 points. Stafford the steal against Damask. He goes to the hoop and lays it in.
Isaiah Stafford is already feeling it. You saw getting a reach in there on Marcus Damask, and it's not like Illinois are not playing with any urgency. It's that Stafford, you look at him step for step with Damask right now. That is a tone-setting. Another steal.
Stafford and Schwieger ahead for Valpo, 2-on-1. Stafford, the floater, pops out, almost slammed in.
And they get yet another offensive rebound.
And the three good from the right side. Stafford off to a hot start. He's got 8, and restlessness in the crowd right now. 13-4 start for Valparaiso.
Yeah, I think a timeout would have been called there had it not been for the under-16 being so close. But what a start this is for the Beacons, and it's all coming down to Isaiah Stafford's willingness to be the one to out-hustle anybody else on the floor.
Damask gives it up to Guerrier. Offensive rebound chance, Danger. Second opportunity. Damask has it blocked by Weatherspoon. He'll leave it back. Stafford another 3. Barely grazes the rim. And then knocked out of bounds by Valpo. It'll be Illinois basketball when we come back from a timeout.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
A place like State Farm Center, or that of a big school, quote-unquote big school, a ranked opponent, and they typically treat it as it's part of the process. You know, maybe we're not expecting the win per se, more just to learn a lot from playing a much better team. But if you were to ask Roger Powell, I don't think you're going to get a response of, yeah, this is about the process. I think he genuinely believes that Valparaiso comes in here, can go toe-to-toe with the Illini, and they have so far.
Illinois getting the offensive rebound after the second free throw missed by Shannon. Shannon driving left into the corner. Goody's made 1, misses that one though. Goody thought he got hit. Complaining to the official up the floor. Long 2-pointer, no good by Weatherspoon, and Goody the rebound.
It's a tough shot there by Weatherspoon, and normally if you're pushing the pace, yeah, take that quick shot, try to get the rebound, but that time I think it was a little bit reckless, just didn't have a great look, was off balance. Not the right shot there, I think, from Weatherspoon.
Hansberry for Shannon. 13 on the timer. Shannon enters it. Hansberry over the top of Palm. A nice finish by Amani Hansberry.
Amani Hansberry takes advantage of the space that he finds. Great awareness there. He hasn't gotten too comfortable in the paint just yet since getting with the Fighting Illini, but on that particular sequence, aware of the space he was given, he took it.
Both teams won for their last 7. As Palm gets fouled, getting Hansberry in the air.
Yeah, I think on the other end of the floor, it's about, you've got to moderate that adrenaline just a little bit, and I think he was encouraged by getting the basket to fall, and I think on the other side of the floor, he was a little bit overly excited to try to make the defensive play. He does indeed get called for the foul.
No free throws. 6th team foul, though, on Illinois. As you can see, 3 on Valpo thus far. Diavero will inbound the basketball for the Beacons. Palm against Hansberry, one-on-one with a right-hand hook. Crowd wanted to travel.
And Jerome Palm able to draw multiple Illini there, and part of that indecision on the Illini defense is because Isaiah Stafford moves so much in the wings, and that kind of splits responsibility, whether you go for the man or you try to stay on the ball.
Shannon to Moretti, around to the top. Goody for 3, and
blocked.
getting a piece of it, yep. Shot was blocked by Adjiboye, and then up the floor, Valpo turns it over. It's a foul on Adjiboye. His second.
And I think with that, he's going to go ahead and take a seat. I think Isaiah Stafford is getting some rest as well. Might be a welcome sight for some likely exhausted Illinois guards, but nobody to scoff at here, and Schweber coming back into the game, as well as Jackson Edwards.
Damask back in for the Fighting Illini. He's played this Valpo team 5 times in his career. As the rebound picked up off the floor by Diavero. Diavero now. Bounce pass to the baseline for the cutting Edwards, and stripped away. Good offense, better defense.
Indeed it is. That's why Terrence Shannon Jr. is such a welcome sight to see after that early injury scare, because he doesn't necessarily have to move quickly. It is just his positioning on defense, especially as things get settled down. He's able to take up a lot of space. And speaking of which, I think Quincy Guerrier will be restored to the 5 on the floor for Illinois.
He'll replace Luke Goody. Guerrier, the grad student from Montreal. A couple of years at Syracuse, a couple of years at Oregon. And now with the Fighting Illini. Weatherspoon, out top Schwieger. Schwieger rolling towards the baseline. 10 on the shot clock. Long 2-pointer is good for Cooper Schwieger. He's got 6.
It's good patience there by that time from a Beacon side that has had some problems with being impatient as things slow down and get into a set offense. As you get into that final 10 seconds, there have been some questionable shot decisions throughout this early season, but that time, good poise there.
Knocked out of bounds by Weatherspoon. It'll still be Illinois basketball.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Off a 3-point play, not able to, and the rebound by Stafford. You saw the note at the bottom. Roger Powell Jr.'s club is the 11th least experienced team in the nation, according to Ken Palm. So that's what he's working with in his first year as a head coach. Is that shot short, and the rebound by Damask. That number includes NCAA Division I games played. It doesn't put into account games at other levels of the NCAA or junior college. As Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn gets his first bucket of the game. Of course, had that standout game against EIU with 18 points, did not score against Marquette.
Yeah, we asked Coach Underwood about that pregame, just about Gibbs-Lawhorn remaining bought in, because, yeah, he's a freshman. He's only had a couple of games, but after such a great first game.
Gibbs-Lawhorn, and Danger will go, I think, back to the free throw line. We'll see if they give him in the active shooting.
I think it was over the back of Dane Danger by, I'm not sure who they called it on. It might be Jerome Palm, but just about Gibbs-Lawhorn. Great first game, and then discouraging next couple of games. We asked Coach Underwood, how do you keep a freshman young mind that is going to want every game to be like that breakout first game? And it's just about keep shooting. It's just about staying in the, not really changing your approach, just giving yourself as many opportunities as possible. And Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn has found himself in space. The shots have just not been falling in these last couple of games.
They call the foul on the floor, so you see Danger will leave the lineup. Rogers is back in for the Fighting Illini. He'll take the pass from Damask. See Moretti getting a lot of time here today. Damask, his best game with Illinois against Marquette with 18 points. Hasn't scored yet today. Shot clock is at 4. Down to 3. Moretti Damask from way downtown comes up short. Goody fighting for the offensive rebound, and he draws a loose ball foul, and that'll lead to a 1-and-1 for Luke Goody.
Yeah, that's a disappointing outcome for Valparaiso because they did really well in that set offensive play for Illinois. Their current lineup right now, it's a little bit more small ball. They're going to move the ball a little bit more quickly without necessarily having as many drives to the inside. And the characteristic of that is what the mission right now that you can see Illinois is trying to do is speed up their pace of play a little bit, because I think they're starting to detect Valparaiso heavy legs maybe setting in just a little bit after such a high octane first half.
Illinois now 3 of 8 at the free throw line. They started the day 60% as a team. Still a 2-point Valparaiso lead. The step back three is good. Jahari Williamson, true freshman from Pickering, Ontario, Canada.
Just reintroduced to the game, and that's exactly what he brings, the quickness, the catch and shoot, and the confidence. And that's great work there by Jahari Williamson to cool off this Illinois reintroduction a little bit.
Gibbs Lawhorn can't answer. Valpo 3 of 8 from downtown. Illinois 3 of 13. He's feeling it, takes another, makes another, and got knocked down, but no foul call. Williamson with back-to-back trifectas.
What a shot by Williamson. This is the gamble that you take if you're Illinois, not having as much on the inside. Hansberry just checked back in, but this is still very much the small ball, move the ball as quickly as possible. And with that, you're sacrificing your presence and being able to get rebounds. And if Valparaiso is able to convert following a rebound, then they start to establish some rhythm. So a bit of a gamble there in that lineup decision for Coach Underwood.
Williamson called for the foul, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Nicolo Moretti. Brad Underwood was sitting cross-armed just a few moments ago on the bench, but now he's back up and walking the sideline. Have some words for Justin Harmon, who's going to check in momentarily. Moretti missing the first free throw. Stafford, the up quick. A finger roll, and it rolls in and taken out. Our cameraman,
I think Saeed is okay.
Saeed is okay.
That is good news. But I mean,
timeout Illinois.
Barely 5 seconds off the shot clock that time there. Isaiah Stafford fully bought into this game, and with that, the rest of the Beacons with a great presence here. Very effective thus far, but this is a big 5 minutes for both of these teams.
10-point Valparaiso lead, and getting fouled is Damask. It'll be a 9th team foul, so still 1-and-1. Here's Damask at the line. 8-0 run for Valpo over the last 57 seconds. Illinois able to knock down the front end of a free throw. 1-and-1 here, so another one for Damask. Terrence Shannon back in. He's got a team-high 7 points, 2 of 4. All of his shots have been three-pointers.
And Terrence Shannon Jr. is the kind of player that's going to force a team to adapt, because we've already seen him warm him up on the three, but also great transition player, obviously. Great driving inside, obviously. How will this Beacon side respond?
Damask making a pair. Weatherspoon gives to Williamson. Jackson Edwards, Adjiboye. And the other out there, Stafford. Stafford driving left, fading back. He's got all the shots working today. Isaiah Stafford now with 15 points. Make that, 15 points. 17 points, there we go, 6 of 12 from the field.
Yeah, I think on that particular sequence, it was just defensive assignments, maybe half a second off on timing. Harmon was drawn in by Williamson, and Hansberry should have covered for him on the inside, but he was a little bit too slow, and that's what opened up the inside.
Harmon short, knocked towards the corner, and tracking it down is Williamson.
Look at that from Roger Powell. He is not holding back, pushing his guys forward.
Keep the pressure on if you're Valpo, as Edwards will turn it over. Harmon to Damask, gets undercut and a chance for a three-point play.
Nice play there. Nice play there by Damask indeed, but credit to Justin Harmon as well, because that was a quick couple of defenders in his face, and he gets the ball away now. I think he...
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Ethan Oscroba on the sidelines for us today on Big Ten Plus. Valparaiso the 4-point lead. Stafford, the three, and it nestles home for Isaiah Stafford. A 21-point first half, already a season high in his fourth career 20-plus point game. The second time he has done it as a Beacon. Goody stepping to his left, no shot. Moretti to Damask from 8 feet, front rimmed it, and the rebound Jackson Edwards. 2-for-1 chance here for Valpo if they hurry. They will hurry. Stafford will bank in another one. Yeah. Isaiah Stafford with 23 first half points.
Justin Harmon a little bit late that time to be able to body in on Isaiah Stafford, but there's Nicolo Moretti. He's been a big piece for Illinois to stay in contention in this game.
A much needed basket by Moretti and a chance for a three-point play. A foul on Diavero.
At the line for the Illini, Nicolo Moretti.
And Nicolo Moretti,
In for Valparaiso, number 13,
who has
Cooper Schwieger.
already today played 11 minutes. He had played 12 all season, all in the game against Eastern Illinois. We had no Coleman Hawkins today, out with a knee injury. We learned that a couple of hours before tip. Moretti, back iron on the free throw. Illinois early foul trouble as well that they've tiptoed around. Two fouls for Shannon and Rogers, 3 now for Hansberry and 2 for Danger as well. Shot clock off. So Valpo will go into the break with the lead. We'll see if it's 7 or more. Stafford wants to make it 10. And it was halfway down, popped out. Illinois has the rebound, won't get a shot off, and that'll wrap up the first half of play. 45-38, Valparaiso has the lead at halftime in the first half. It'll be Valpo ball to begin the second half here at the State Farm Center, as Valparaiso is trying to beat a Power 5 team for the first time since November of 2016, over 7 years since the Beacons' last win over a Power 5 team. And the last time they beat a ranked team was in February of 2021 when they knocked off number 25 Drake in Missouri Valley Conference play. Illinois, they're trying to avoid any of that from occurring today. Terrence Shannon had it blocked by Jackson Edwards, and Edwards able to get the rebound as well now.
Hey, look at Jackson Edwards getting it done. He lost the ball, able to keep it in, but you saw him defending on the perimeter. He'll certainly do that, but inside is where he's more renowned, but he's fully bought in.
He hasn't scored yet today, 0 of 5 from the field, but does have 8 rebounds. He's averaging close to 16 points this season. Danger able to grab that loose ball. Almost a minute gone by here in the second half. Shannon off the dribble, nice finish.
That's the kind of transition play Illinois desperately needs right now. They need to turn the tides back in their direction because all of that momentum has been going Valparaiso's way, be it over a turnover or just a loose ball.
We're going to call this a turnover as well. It's a foul. Diavero, his second team foul, or his second personal foul.
Just a nice move there by Terrence Shannon Jr. Bread and butter. He's done it time and time again, able to cut from the wing under the basket and the easy finish. And they're going to need more of that transition quickness from Shannon and his teammates.
Shannon once again driving, this time on the left side. Puts it up and in. Back-to-back buckets for Terrence Shannon Jr.
Beacon's totally selling out on the perimeter that time. They're anticipating it right now from Shannon, but he's still able to find his lanes.
Jerome Palm picking up the dribble. Has Danger on him. Schwieger guarded by Goody. Goody getting the start here in the second half of play. And that's an air ball. So Valpo has started the second half 0 of 4 from the field. Illinois 2 of 4.
Yeah, that's a moment where they need to be just a little bit more patient there. Don't force the easy shot and just give it away that easily. At least find a lane on the inside and maybe try to get the quick bucket there. But that is a long three-point attempt, and as well as Stafford's been playing, not often he's going to hit those.
It's 45-38 at halftime. Terrence Shannon already with 4 points here in the second half. Comes up short with that jump shot.
Seen Dame take over the paint, and Damask starting that way, but 1-4 look right now for the Illini.
Goody starting here in the second half in place of Quincy Guerrier, by the way. Palm to leave him open for three. Too strong. Rebound Shannon. Terrence Shannon, remember the first minute of the game, came up hobbled. His right leg was bothering him. Trying to keep an eye on him and see how he's moving. Danger, the left-hand hook, front rimmed it, and the rebound Edwards.
He has been playing in fairly short spurts, at least he did throughout that first half. When he was on the floor, he was effective. He just wasn't able to be on the floor very long, so I'm wondering how cautious this Illinois staff is being.
And Valpo gets on the board finally here in the second half. Jerome Palm, he now has scored 10.
How about that from Jackson Edwards, getting up there, reaching high on Damascus. They get another free possession here.
D'Averio gives it off in the corner. Three missed by Edwards, rebound by Shannon. Shannon gets fouled before the shot.
It's amazing how much space Shannon is able to cover with so few steps and so little time. I mean, that's part of what makes him, he's called himself unstoppable in transition before, and he may be just about that. This was an earlier cut to the basket, able to get the finish, and on this occasion that he's about to shoot for, it's going to be inbounded rather. Had the foul called against him.
Stafford, second foul on him. Ty Rogers back in the game. He goes to work, spinning, offensive foul on Ty Rogers. Will be his third personal.
Pretty visceral reaction by the crowd, and again, we haven't seen too many offensive fouls called this season, but I mean, that's a pretty straightforward call. The reaching out with his arm there, I mean, that's more than just his arm. That's a lot of body weight there, and Ty Rogers is going to be whistled for that one all day long.
Rogers grabs the air ball. Gives Lawhorn, blocked out of bounds by Schwieger.
And just good awareness there by Schwieger. Gibbs Lawhorn a little bit too ambitious that time, and Schwieger just allowing Gibbs Lawhorn to pivot around him and then make the easy block there. He's trying to create himself more space by going further to the outside, see if he can outrun Schwieber, but Schwieber doesn't have to do as much running. He just needs to reach across whenever Gibbs Lawhorn does come back around, and that's the block.
Damascus inbounds it to Goody for a right side three.
Much needed there from Illinois, needed those points, and Luke Goody has been pretty reliable in those big moments these last couple of games. It's his composure that makes him so important and so integral.
Second three-pointer for Goody, 2-point game. Valpo is led by as many as 10 in this game. Palm, 17 feet, no. Shannon, the rebound, his fourth. Long pass ahead, Gibbs Lawhorn catches it on the run, the reverse lay-in.
Everything was right with that play. It was a great pass by Shannon Jr. and excellent awareness to cut to the basket by Gibbs Lawhorn. Just needed the finish.
Now Schwieger going to work against Goody. The foul, the bucket, and a chance for a three-point play for the true freshman Cooper Schwieger.
This is a team that lives by the motto, everyday guys. Everybody says it. This team means it. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Ethan. Schwieger misses the free throw. Edwards gets the rebound. And now Schwieger drives. It'll end up being a 4-point possession for Cooper Schwieger. And Valpo back up by 6.
You hear a lot of
1982?
1982.
You might be exaggerating a little bit, right?
He took some time to think about it when we asked him about that, but he came up with 1982. I could personally believe it, but just going to Cooper Schwieger just then, I mean, we've praised Coleman Hawkins about his athleticism. He's not playing today, but just in general, he's so athletic for his size. But Cooper Schwieger definitely amplifying that as well. I mean, the shiftiness in the air, no less. I mean, being able to have so much control and get the finish that's relatively easy by the end of it. That's why Cooper Schwieger has been such an important piece as well. Maybe not the points that Isaiah Stafford has, but certainly the presence.
Danger to the basket, puts it up and in. 8 points for Danger. By the way, that was a 4th foul on Ola Adjiboye. And now Illinois a chance to get within 2 with a long outlet, and Danger fouled at the last moment. And now Dane Danger already has tied his season high with 10 points.
What a pass that is from Justin Harmon. The quarterback's throw, just heave it and see if Danger's there. And in that particular case, it was a dime. And it's going to force the Beacons to take a second to think about it here.
Timeout call by Roger Powell Jr. and the Beacons will give us immediate timeout on the floor with 15:09 left to play.
That makes Danger a little bit more of a threat against the more mobile defenders.
Danger, free throw, can't finish the three-point play, and that'll be a rebounding foul on Illinois. So it'll stay a 2-point Valpo lead. They led 45-38 at halftime, led by as many as 10 at 34-24, as the foul was called on Goody, his second. Here's Stafford. Stafford 23 points all in the first half. Can't get his first bucket here in the second half.
Yeah, the Illini crowding the wing that time. That is where Stafford has gotten to work. It's on that right side wing, and that particular moment there were a couple of Illini defenders in front of him, so he is forced to take the quick shot that doesn't fall.
Shannon Jr., the quick crossover. Open man in the corner. Goody. Shot clock at 10. Jab step, step back, three. Shannon's made three from three. Terrence Shannon Jr. now with 14 points.
Pure individual ability there by Terrence Shannon Jr. I mean, great awareness there.
Illinois' first lead since it was 2-1. Palm gives Valpo the lead right back.
Quintessential silencer right there from Jerome Palm, and he really didn't have to work that hard for it. Had plenty of space, gets the finish, and does that part of the job, but he was given a lot of space to operate, and here's Jahari Williamson.
Almost a steal. Goody gets it back, pull up three.
This is the moment where momentum can swing. It's in these broken plays of transition. When it's super close, it's very tense, and once that game opens up for a turnover, a loose ball, that's what can define the next couple of moments.
Palm can't bank it in. Williamson knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Illinois ball as Amani Hansberry will check back in. Again, if you're joining us late, no Coleman Hawkins today for Illinois. Ruled out of the game a couple of hours before tip-off with a knee injury. Dane Danger got the start. And Danger, 10 points, 5 of 7 from the field in 16 minutes. Terrence Shannon, an Illinois high, 14 points today. Isaiah Stafford has gone scoreless in the second half for Valpo, but he has 23 for the game. Damask out to Goody, another three from the left wing, same spot and the same result. And Goody is fired up as his hot shooting from Tuesday has carried over to today, another 4 three-pointer game. Rebound, Shannon.
Ooh, and a big-time collision there. I think just tripped up between Edwards and Shannon, but going back to Luke Goody with the hot hand all of a sudden. I say all of a sudden, in the pre-practice shoot-around, they ended that shoot-around with Luke Goody. I think he had at least 10 three-pointers in a row, and I mean, he certainly has not lost his step since earlier this afternoon. I mean, he's feeling confident. He had a pretty solid shooting day against Marquette.
He's 8 for his last 13 from beyond the three-point line.
Pretty good streak right there.
4 of 7 against Marquette, and 4 of 6 here tonight. And now 12 points for Goody, and Illinois, its largest lead, up by 5, helped out by this 13-2 run. Goody from the other wing, halfway down and out.
Yeah, 8 for 14 isn't quite as impressive there, Scott.
Pull up, Williamson, short. Edwards goes up high for the rebound, kick out. Williamson into the corner, Edwards three, and the rebound by Harmon.
Gosh, they did everything right there, did the Beacons. After the first shot didn't go, reset, slow down, and open it up.
And Shannon too quick for the defense. The lay-in, now 6 of 10 from the field, and 16 points for Shannon. And timeout called. Right now, though, he is more focused on what's going on the floor right now. A 15-2 run for Illinois over the last 3 minutes to turn a 7-point halftime deficit into a 7-point lead, and the rebound by Hansberry. Shannon, the kick to the corner. Harmon a three. It's an offensive foul on the pass-off.
Yeah, it just took one too many steps. You may be hearing it over the headsets from the fans behind us there, but not a big fan of the call. Terrence Shannon Jr. a little overzealous as he was coming forward. It's interesting with Valparaiso right now. It can be really tempting to try to go 3 for 3 because Illinois has been hitting a lot of big shots, but right now they just got to chip away, take back the inside because Illinois is defending it well right now.
Palm short, rebound, Rogers. Valpo has gone cold, 1 of their last 9. Shannon looking for a 4th trifecta. Back iron, hands bear the offensive rebound. Illinois will slow it down, 15 on the shot clock. Illinois 9 of 18 from the field this half, 4 of 8 from 3. The percentage up to 43% as Shannon, another easy lay-in. 18 points now for Shannon, coming off the 21 against Marquette.
That's that quick movement there by Shannon and then his other teammates to disrupt the set defense there for the Beacons that found that opening, and Illinois opens up a 9-point lead.
Williamson long, Schwieger kept it alive, rebound Rogers. Harmon driving baseline, cut off. Coming up on 11 minutes left to play in the second half. In a game that's completely flipped now over the last 4 minutes. Guerrier passes out from the corner. Still 9 on the timer. Harmon from inside the paint. And tapped out to Williamson as the Beacons have it. Jackson Edwards still hasn't scored yet. He's been averaging almost 16 a game. And could have had a foul maybe either way there. And here come the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, the fans were not happy with that one, as that was what Terrence Shannon Jr. was called for just a moment ago.
Open 3, corner, Guerrier, no good. And the rebound, Williamson.
And Valparaiso still pushing pace a little bit. They're not wanting to use a lot of clock. And again, it's all about finding the lanes in the inside so you can start fracturing what has become a very solid Illinois defense in the second half. But Schwarber all the way on the perimeter right now. You want him inside.
Schwarber, someone's got their mind on baseball, I think.
My goodness, Schwieger. I'm not quite sure where Schwarber came from, to tell you the truth there, Scott.
Guerrier called for the foul. No timeout here. We already have the under 12 media timeouts. Just a pump fake there.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
That was against Stafford.
Great work there by Ty Rogers. It was a tight angle, but he's able, again, to get the right speed on the ball, to get the right angle as well, and finish that one off nicely.
Diavero throws it away. Rogers has a man ahead. It's Terrence Shannon, who wanted the big one-hand slam.
You know, I think he was caught in two minds there because he was looking to finish opposite. Coach Brad Underwood is down to his knees right now nearly, but I think he was caught in two minds whether he wanted to lay it in or finish off the dunk, and he comes up with neither.
Stafford gets a screen, the floater, bounces out and back in. 27 now for Stafford, and they need him to get going if Valparaiso wants to make the 10-point comeback now.
We didn't see a lot of that from Jerome Palm in the first half, to come up to the top of the key, set the screen, and allow Stafford to work. And that's largely because Stafford was doing just fine on the wing, but now they have to find some new answers.
Danger, the power dribble, the baseline, the reverse.
Yeah, that was sweet there from Dane Danger. Nice fluid motion to get that one to finish off, and this is end-to-end stuff right now.
14 now for Danger. He was averaging 6 points on the season. Field goal percentage very good, and today it's even better at 7 of 9. Shannon across the lane, misses it off the glass, and Danger, he'll clean it up with 2 more. Dane Danger now up to 16 points today, and the lead is 14.
Prime example of how the balance of power has shifted on the inside. Dane Danger fully was able to get the rebound there in the first half. It would have been a lot harder, probably pulled down by the Beacons, but caught in space, defender missed his assignment, gets the rebound and gets the points.
Illinois outscoring Valparaiso now 35-14 in the second half, and shooting 50%. Valpo just 20%. in the second half. Shannon, hard hit to the floor. He's earned himself some free throws.
And I really do think that fatigue and those heavy legs starting to show for Valparaiso.
19 points now for Shannon. 7 of 14 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. Illinois, 15 of 30 from the field this half. Valparaiso, 7 of 35. Illinois now out shooting the Beacons 45% to 31% as Shannon has back-to-back 20-point outings.
You've got Schwieger back in the game. He's in foul trouble. His next one's going to set him down. So
at this point, no reason to save him if you're Roger Powell Jr. Rogers with the rebound. Guerrier can't kiss it home. Palm the rebound. Jerome Palm, a 12.9 rebound game today. Schwieger denied by Guerrier. He tries again, and he got denied by a combination of Damask and Guerrier.
Yeah, the pass just not quite on the mark, and it slowed it down just enough that Guerrier was able to catch up, and then from there, Guerrier did exactly what he needed to do in defense. Schwieger trying to drive into Guerrier, but that just wasn't going to work.
Guerrier for 3, and the rebound will go out of bounds. Last touched by Valpo.
It's those little things that were going the way of the Illini in the first half that has just, or going the way of the Beacons rather in the first half, that have just completely abandoned Valpo and Coach Roger Powell's team. They have, again, they've stuck to their guns and trying to play as quickly as they can. It's just that quickness has faltered.
And we showed the graphic earlier in the second half, maybe in part due to Illinois. According to Ken Palm, the 11th most experienced team in the nation, while Valparaiso is the 11th least experienced. As the alley-oop lay-in by Ty Rogers.
That certainly plays a factor. I mean, if you're inexperienced, you're trying to make the impression, and you're going to naturally spend yourself a little bit earlier than maybe you would if you're more experienced. But also,
Edwards still has not scored tonight.
In the case of experience, you've been in these moments where it's been closer games, maybe closer than expected, and you're finding the right shots.
Goody, 3, looking for a new career high, and the rebound by Edwards. So he's tied the career high that he set against Marquette with 13 points. 4 more three-pointers. Palm over Hansberry, Wild with it. Shannon on the up quick, trying to bounce it for Damask. It got kicked, and we'll get a timeout. 3:20 left to go. All Illinois here in the second half, outscoring Valparaiso 39-14. They are a legit top 10 and a Final Four contender again this season. And so that should be a fun one for the Fighting Illini. Getting to the line here will be Terrence Shannon in a 18-point Illinois lead.
Yeah, I mean, we just looked at the stat right before coming back in. It's, what, 33 missed shots for the
Valpo,
Beacons?
7 of 40 in the second half. They've only turned it over 1 time in the second half, but they have missed 33 shots. Meanwhile, Illinois, only 2 turnovers the second half, 9 for the game, as Cooper Schwieger is fouled out for Valpo.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be that's going to be a critical blow for the Beacons, as they haven't had enough already. But just going back to that field goal stat, I mean, 7 for 40. And it's not like the Beacons shot exceptionally well in the first half. They got up a lot of shots, but they didn't really shoot it that well. It was just how many they were getting, how many possessions they were creating for themselves, and it was at the right times. Their shots have been harder in this half, and many of them just are not falling.
Also, Valpo was 10 of 12 in the first half at the free throw line. They're 0 of 1 in the second half as Shannon makes both free throws. (79-59).
And they've certainly built their cushion now, but there was a point a few minutes ago. It was an 8-point game. Nice finish there by, I think that was Stafford again.
Yeah, Stafford up to 29 now, but only 6 points here in the second half.
There was a point earlier where Illinois could have ran away with it or started to build their lead at least earlier in the second half, but it was only an 8-point game because it was the continued missed free throws. I think they'd missed 7 or 8 at that point, and it could have been an entirely different game earlier. It's not going to really matter now, but down the line, like you've said, Scott, it will matter.
Shannon gets it underneath to Rogers, who lays it in. Shannon with his 4th assist. And Ty Rogers, another Illini in double figures. That's 4 now, as he's got 10. A tale of two halves here between Valpo and Illinois today. And I believe stepping out of bounds was Ajiboye, turning it over.
And the Illini faithful were certainly quick to call that step out of bounds as well, it should be noted. Good numbers here for the student section, considering it's the Friday going into Thanksgiving break at the University of Illinois campus.
Going in, so the Friday going into, people get away early because there's no class Monday, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I'm sure there have been plenty that have been leaving a couple days earlier than today as well, so certainly encouraging to see the full Orange Crush seats here at State Farm Center.
Goody looking for the new career high. Palm the rebound. Palm now with the double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds. How about Jackson Edwards today for Valparaiso? 0 of 10 from the field, but he's got 14 rebounds in 30 minutes of play. But obviously someone for Valpo that was averaging over 15 points a game. If he was somewhere in that vicinity here tonight, could be a different story down the stretch right now.
It resembles those Dennis Rodman stat lines of scoring barely anything but getting those boards. Jackson Edwards, I wouldn't call it a bad game. Certainly a shooting performance, not ideal, but he was a big part of that first half going so well for the visitors. He was getting the rebounds and he was present on defense at the perimeter and inside.
Stafford, a 30-point evening. The second of his career. He had 31 in a game with Southern Indiana a couple of years ago. And cannot match that with that free throw. 19-point Illinois lead. Moretti's back in. Hansberry gives Lawhorn for Illinois. Harmon and Goody. Moretti. He draws the foul and should have free throws here.
This has been the right kind of game for Nico Moretti to be getting some game experience, because he had only had the one prior appearance in the season opener. And in these last couple of contests, it just hasn't really favored him getting some minutes. But today, it has been about trying to match for pace, being able to move the ball quickly to stretch out this Beacons team, which Illini desperately needed to do in the first half. And Moretti's fully capable of that. He brings in the European flavor of experience in that very technically sound game across the pond. It's just not quite as physical, and that is something that Moretti will continue to develop as he gets more minutes with the Illini in games like these. But he certainly brings a lot of skills that will be valuable.
Makes both free throws, 4 points on the evening. Valparaiso has emptied the bench. Kaspar Sepp is in.
Nice pass there by Jahari Williamson. Threading the needle.
Weatherspoon with the bucket. Also in there's Anthony Sharoni, a fifth-year senior from Columbus, Ohio. Former football player for Valparaiso.
1 minute remaining.
Played 3 seasons on the football team. And now joining the basketball team as a fifth-year senior is Justin Harmon with the tip-in. Illinois, 85 points on the board. So after being down 45-38 at halftime, Illinois has their largest offensive output of the season now with 85. Their prior high was 80 in the 80-52 win over Eastern Illinois. 47 points here in the second half, 47-19, the advantage. Stick with us post-game. Ethan Oskroba will be meeting up, I believe, with Luke Goody, as well as head coach Brad Underwood of what will be the winning side, the Fighting Illini today, to go to 3-1 on the year. And Valpo about to fall to 2-2.
It's a pretty lopsided score, obviously, but I don't think there's much to hang heads about if you're Roger Powell, who is still not that well seated into this head coaching role just yet. He's getting his time and he's building this project. We've talked about the process throughout the day, and this is a game that will certainly benefit that.
Moretti, the basket.
Saeed gets hit a second time there under the basket.
But Valparaiso will certainly look at the first half of this game, and I believe will take some positives out of it. Roger Powell wants his team to shoot here The shot off the mark for Sharoni, and that will do it for this game. A big turnaround, a 49-19 turnaround as Underwood and Powell embrace at midcourt. Illinois comes away with the 87-64 win, and again outscoring the Beacons 49-19 in the second half.